Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast. Happy Halloween.
Boo.
Out of costume now.
Yeah, we've got some non-Halloween things we've got to do today. So after the show, I had to take the...
Murphy couldn't sit down because of what was behind him in his costume as Granny, the Granny from the Big Bad Wolf. I was the Big Bad Wolf. Sam, you totally should, now that I see all the pictures and it's done, you should have been Little Red Riding Hood. We have never done all three of us together as a group, right? Except the one year we were villains and you were Michael Myers.
Yeah.
That's the only time we've done a threesome costume.
Yeah.
Completely missed the boat.
Well, I mean,
we
could work Bucky into the Little Red Riding Hood story.
Right.
Yeah, we could. With some good brisket for all.
Hey.
Okay, so Murphy was a grandma, and honestly, over the years, I don't know if it bothers you or not, Sam, but Murphy always wins Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Murphy, something about you just look so hysterical dressed up. Just maybe because he is normally the businessman and you just don't expect it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but putting you in that grandma moo-moo, I like to call it. Somebody asked on our Facebook page, is Murphy Mrs. Roper?
From the TV show Three's Company. Yeah, she always dressed in moo-moos.
She did, with earrings and all the stuff. And I think her hair was red and
Her hair
curly.
was red. But you know
you
what?
had gray curly.
That could be totally done with a red wig.
There are Mrs. Roper parades around this country in celebration of that character, and rightly so.
And that costume, too, could also be pulled off from Mama's Family.
Yes, you're right. That's how Vicki Lawrence dressed, kind of.
On the low, Murphy, you don't know this is a side conversation. You were out of the room. Sam was like, you need to keep that costume. That's a keeper. Don't you dare get rid of that one. That old lady costume is it. And it's all going to go back in the bag. I'm going to keep. It came as a grandma costume in a bag, but what I kept and we used were the glasses and the wig. But I didn't like the mama gown that it came with. It looked fake.
Yeah.
So I just went and got
A real deal.
bigger sized grandma gown.
It was,
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I
It
didn't
was
buy
fun.
it new either.
And
Thrift.
it also had the inflatable behind the butt.
Man.
That you could, which
so
really kind
funny. Funniest part.
couldn't see that in the studio. I had a tough time sitting in the chair.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we had to get undone.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Rebecca said, this is from our Facebook page, Murphy looks like my Aunt Mabel. Minta, you guys are so cute. I've waited for this picture. Murphy, you win.
Aw.
That's always on here.
Sweet.
Murphy's costume is hilarious. That's Julie. Irene, oh my God, Murphy copied how I look. Love you guys. Tammy said, oh my God, this is hilarious. You always go all out and I love it. Murphy, you're the bomb as Granny. That's from Suzanne. It's also the 5 o'clock shadow you're rocking.
Yeah, I know. I don't ever shave the beard and the mustache regardless of the costume. But I mean, Jodi gets the credit on this. Jodi's one that has the costume vision every year. And, chooses that. And I also think Jodi just likes putting me in dresses.
Not true. It's actually not true. I honestly usually base what you're going to be. Sorry to tell you this, but based on what I'm going to be. If we're a couple, we haven't always dressed as a couple, but sometimes it's fun. The year I wanted to be Slash is because I wanted to be Slash. Therefore, you were Axel. No dress.
Yeah.
The year I wanted to be
But I was
Rip.
in tights. So
Yeah. The year I wanted to be Rip. You were it's like you can be Beth. It's more fun.
that's a lot more fun than me being Rip and you being Beth from Yellowstone.
110%.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the baddie. Not that Beth is not a baddie, but just in a different way.
We found that costume when Jodi was digging through them the other night. And it's like inside the Ziploc bag, there's the Beth wig and the Beth cigarette.
It's like a fake cigarette or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that your favorite Murphy woman costume?
Woman?
Beth?
No. Yes. Yeah. Instead of this one is.
Oh,
is it really?
Because it looks. The wig does. The wig and the glasses do it.
Wow. Okay.
Phoebe was here earlier. Phoebe did my wolf, Big Bad Wolf makeup. Thanks, Phoebe. She always does that. And she's noted the funny thing is that there are curlers in that wig, but the hair is actually all curls. There's no point in putting rollers in there except for just effect.
Yeah.
Halloween is so funny for that reason. That my favorite female character he ever dressed as was Beth. Though,
Yeah.
because he had like a bottle of scotch or something, and you had bruises on your face or cuts because she had just been in a fight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the episodes we had watched, she had just been in a fight.
Yeah.
The word about it is though, I'm great for ideas, but pulling it off is you. That's all you. I don't,
Well-
I don't take it. I don't take any credit for how you behave once you're in the costume. I can't. I'm just an idea person.
So, I've had this conversation with a lot of people, already about, the dress up and
We love Halloween here.
Haley, who I work out with, I talked about that. Dressing up when you don't normally dress up and you get into costume, it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is fun to adopt a character that is not you or is really the opposite of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why people love theater so much. I'm not a theater person or an actor or actress or anything like that, even though I dress as both.
I like it because you get to hide behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? I was going to ask you, Sam, to me, being the natural comedian that you are, you always really know where the funny is. I'm surprised that you don't, I don't know, go more funny, like go crazy for Halloween more than you do.
For me, it's effort. It's just like, I could do this and I could do this, and all of a sudden it's 2 days before, and it's like, let's just do this.
I know. I think we were talking about Bucky the Beaver, and you were like, I have a Bucky thing. It came about very naturally that you're going to be Bucky this year.
It's either that or Michael Myers again.
Yeah, you don't want to put the effort in, although you could rock it if you did.
Yeah.
If you cared enough to put the effort in.
I'm actually going to do Bucky tonight.
Oh, cool.
Because I figured that's easy and it'll keep me warm, and I won't
kids will
scare
love
any
it.
kids.
Yeah, the kids will think that's fun.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
And I still have some beaver nuggets left.
You've already got it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
The years that you've pulled off Michael Myers, it's funny though because
So good.
It's a very stoic look. And because it's so stiff, it makes it intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really. I don't want to say it's not difficult to execute because I don't know that everybody can pull that off. But you can pull that character off. It's like you're being still, waiting for the moment of surprise, which is what you do every day in real life anyway.
Yeah.
With Michael Myers, it's just really standing and slowly turning.
Actually,
Right.
when you were Michael Myers, though, the funny part was the funny stuff you did and the unexpected Michael Myers stuff.
Taking a
you did.
selfie.
Taking selfies.
The name tag that says "Hello, I'm Michael."
Yes, I forgot about that.
Have you guys never ever seen that? Some mom shared her photo session with her daughter a couple of years ago, and I could not take my eyes off of it. It's a little girl sitting at the back of a yard at a table with a tea set, and she's dressed up in a dress, and there are woods behind her. And the first shot is just her, and the second shot, Michael Myers is standing. And your heart is like, what?
Yeah.
And then he walks closer, and she sees him. These are all still photographs.
Yeah.
And she invites him to sit down for tea, and he has tea with her. And it is absolutely precious.
It's
It goes
cute.
from what I'm scared to, oh my God, it's how precious.
Yeah.
And it's a whole photo shoot that their family did with the daughter. Maybe the daughter had a thing for Michael, which I do too. Michael Myers is my favorite icon of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go as Michael one year.
Yeah.
Michelle Myers. We had always talked about that, the female Michael Myers. But you can't paint the face on. You have to wear the mask because the mask is what's iconic.
Oh yeah, the hockey mask defines it.
Little baby Michael Myers.
No,
cute.
hockey mask is Jason.
Hockey mask is Jason.
Michael Myers is the
That's the
Shatner mask.
William Shatner mask. Yes, I always mix them both up.
Yeah. That's why you leave Halloween to me.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, that's true.
I would be totally fine. In fact, I would love it if you wanted to do your own costume one year, but you don't. I know you don't.
I don't think about it till it's too late.
I know. I've thought about it for 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
that's how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and turn
it's your
this.
gift.
Let's go ahead and
It's your
turn
talent.
this into the GhostCast. Would you like that? A couple of the
Ghost
last
stories from the
few
week?
ghost stories that have rolled in that we weren't able to get to during the show today because there's so much. 3 things to know, and then morning pick me up, and all that fun that we have. So Eric sent this 60-second ghost story, but it's an email. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, growing up, we had a Hispanic couple who lived around the corner from us and became friends. They were old Joe and his wife, Guadalupe. My mom would go over and help with them gardening and teach Guadalupe sewing things. Old Joe would do handyman stuff around the house. One night, in the middle of the night, I got up to get a glass of water, and then I returned to bed. During this time, I saw an image of old Joe in our kitchen. I thought nothing of it and thought my mind was playing tricks on me. He was a part of my life. I went to school the next morning, saw an ambulance in front of old Joe's house. When I got home from school that afternoon, my mom had told me that old Joe had passed away overnight. I realized at that point the image was real, and it was old Joe checking on me, my mom, and my brother before he moved on.
Oh, wow.
Eric, that's lovely. He cared about your family.
Yeah.
You took them in. He wanted to say goodbye. I love that. Friends, neighbors, and ghosts. Brian sent this 60-second ghost stories. When my oldest son was an infant, his crib sat at the foot of our bed. One night, I was awakened by my ex, who was almost hysterical beside me. She kept gasping and pointing towards the baby. As I sat up to look, and standing by the crib was the silhouette of a woman watching over the baby, and the room was dark. Thinking then my mother-in-law had wandered in from over from next door, I got up and rushed over to my son to protect him. And in parentheses in this email, mother-in-law was often intoxicated and unpredictable. The woman had no clear face, no distinguishable features, only the silhouette of an older woman.
Did she smell like whiskey?
I reached down to pick up the baby, but she placed a cold hand on my left shoulder, and I froze completely still. Her other hand raised up where a mouth would be and gave a hush gesture. It wasn't my mother-in-law or anyone I recognized, but a ghost of a woman from an older generation, based on her appearance. Feeling nothing negative, I returned to bed. What? I returned to bed and told my ex.
I'd have been awake for the night.
And told my ex to go back to sleep. However, she was agitated and eventually went to check on the baby after the figure disappeared seconds later. I received many harsh words from my ex the next morning for not doing more.
And now she's the ex.
She's the ex. Now, that's not in this email. That's Sam's.
Yeah. Sam's interpretation.
And Murphy, Sam, and Jodi, you guys have a wonderful show. I enjoy listening. Keep up the great work, and happy Halloween. That's from Brian. That is scary for many, many reasons. Cold hand, something that you can't. How many times have we heard these ghost stories where you can't move in the presence of something else and you can't move? We've heard that too. I believe you. It's legit. But the other part is there's nothing in this world that you want to protect more than your baby. And if that, I would have not been able to go back to sleep.
She wasn't harmful, so I went back to bed.
I would have been livid too.
I'd have grabbed the baby and been out of the house.
I just,
yes,
that is like so physically intense.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't believe he just went back to bed. Yeah, the only things that I can remember feeling that are like that, or even close to that, are when our first house that we raised our girls in, Jodi. It was like a cold, I walked through a one little space in the house that was cold at one point. I don't know if you remember me having that, and it wasn't cold outside when it was just like a really weird little, just like
I don't remember the cold
cool
story.
spot.
No,
Yeah.
it was a drafty little house.
It wasn't
though.
an HVAC issue.
I don't think so, but I guess it could have been.
It was an old house, and Murphy had some weird feelings in there.
But they were good. I remember I told you it was a happy house.
Yeah.
I sensed something that made it a happy house. Based on it. I didn't see
Based
anything.
on nothing.
Yeah. That's when you were drinking, right?
Well, yeah, I'd had a few glasses of wine. But
I guess it was
Said
a
it
happy
not me.
house.
He was also listening to Nat.
Oh.
Some old Nat
Nat
King Cole music.
song, yeah. And I really thought, I think it, stirred up something than, maybe a previous
Maybe some older
tenant in
people
the
who
house.
used to, haunt that liked Nat, and they were like, what?
Well, the thing about that house, and I don't know if you know this, Sam, so the first house that Jodi and I bought, it was built in the 1950s. We bought it in 2000, but it had always been a rent house until the previous owners. So in other words, for its first 45 years, it was nothing. It was rental, right? Exactly. So it was never one person who lived there for a long time
Or
Except
died
us.
there.
We were the longest residents.
Residents,
Living is
owners.
correct.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Did you ever check in to see if somebody passed away there?
No, I don't know that you could. I don't know how to do that. If you're talking about something that was rented out for 45 years, you're talking about so many people that live there. Who knows?
I'm glad.
Maybe that increases the odds of it, though.
I'm glad we never had those conversations while living there, because I once you put that in my mind, then you hear creaking when there's nothing, or then you feel cold. Like I'm glad I just enjoyed our children in that house. Our children were little. That's the house we raised them in when they were little, and like from babies from the hospital all the way through elementary school and junior high. So I just glad I never felt anything weird except mom tiredness in that house. So happy Halloween, everyone. One of our favorite days of the year. It just happens to be on a Friday.
Subscribe to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast. Free and easy.